You're listening to The Time-Saving Teacher from Scattered to Strategic with Alison Howd. I have to tell you about my first morning of the school year because it did not go the way I had planned it, and that's not a complaint, not even a little bit. But can we talk about the first week of school tired for just a second? I don't care how much you plan ahead. There is an exhaustion that first week that I genuinely cannot explain. Shout out to any spouses, partners, family members of anyone in education because it takes a team to pull off a school year, whether you're the one in the classroom or the one holding everything together at home. So here's what happened. I like to get to school early, and I got there in plenty of time and got into my lab computers, but my class icon was not on the desktop anymore, and Chrome was no longer the default browser, which meant my kids could not get to where they needed to go. The team at school got all that fixed for me by the second or third period, but when my fifth graders sat down that morning to do their assignment I had planned, Google Classroom was not scheduling right. My video would not play. 3 things, one right after the other, right when I needed them to work. Hi, I'm Alison, that tech-savvy teacher, and this is the Time-Saving Teacher from Scattered to Strategic. And what I want to talk about today is not the tech. It's what got me through that morning. That first class period was honestly the hardest first day I've ever had as a tech teacher. Not the hardest day I've ever had. I've had other hard days, but the hardest first day was just that one class period. I even got it together by the end of that first period. I teach kindergarten through 5th grade, but I teach those lessons 7 days in a row. So by day 2, it was already better organized. My thoughts were in a much better place by then as well. So I rebounded quickly. Let me be honest, I don't think I would have rebounded that quickly if I had not been able to address it in the moment. Because here's what I did. Right there in that first class, I said to myself, okay, the lesson I had is pitched. That's okay. I've got something else. It's every bit as effective. My kids are still going to learn from it, and I'm making an adjustment. I pulled up a back-to-school game for the technology lab that I had already made this summer, and I put the link to that game on my Google site, and my students pulled it right up. They were thrilled. It turned into a genuinely good class. Here's the thing I want you to hear. Only 2 classes out of my whole day that affected where I had to throw out the lesson plan. Everything else worked. But I did not let it defeat me, and it did not take over my whole day. It was just that one period. That was it. And I want to give a shout out to the people who work tech at our school and honestly at every school, because there are so many things happening behind the scenes that we don't see from our own classroom. That little icon being gone mattered a lot in the moment to me. I worked around it the first couple of classes, but I'll be honest, I wish it had already been there when my kids walked in, but there was nothing I could do about it. We were doing great to have our computers up for the first day of school because of some computer issues over the summer. But also, always remembering that there are people with a much bigger picture than mine. Every teacher has their own world, and everything in that world depends on things working. But when you think about the people who support the whole building, our media specialists, our tech team, they're responsible for all of us, well over 200 people, and sometimes it's just not possible to make everybody happy at the same time. Even as a technology teacher, I have to think about what happens if the internet goes down. I keep centers and activities ready that my students can do without it. Having something ready, even something small and temporary, gives you the chance to get your feet back under you. And here's the truth about the moment something falls apart. It is easy to freak out, but freaking out doesn't actually help you, and your students can feel it when you're rattled. It can cost you a little credibility with them as well. But taking a breath and going with it is one of the best things you can do for them and for yourself. If you're relying on other people at your school to help you, you're one of many people that they're supporting that day. What you're facing matters to you, but the person helping you might be juggling dozens of other requests and carrying their own stress too. So being patient and grateful for the people who show up for you goes a long way. Sometimes it can feel impossible, like you're not going to get through it, but you will. So a big shout out to the people doing that work behind the scenes, and an encouragement to classroom teachers that we take it with grace. We try to be patient even when it's genuinely hard. I saw people handle that really well this week and be flexible when something isn't working the way you planned. That is an important skill to have in your back pocket. So here's what I want you to walk away with. 1, when something falls apart, it does not have to take down your whole day. It might just be that one class or subject, that one period. Just let it contain itself there. 2, having something ready to grab is what makes a quick rebound possible. It's not about how tough you are, it's about being prepared with an option. And 3, a little grace and flexibility for yourself and for the people behind the scenes at your school goes a long way, because everyone is doing their best with a bigger picture than any one of us can see from our own classroom. Teacher Systems Lab GPT grew out of the same idea. I have spent years figuring out how to build a schedule that works across 42 classes on a rotation between 7 and built that knowledge into a system. Now the 42 classroom teachers and the enrichment teachers can go to one link, click on our name, and see exactly what we're supposed to have that day, what's happening, and even print it if they need to. It's the same principle as the backup game, but I built that system once, so I'm never rebuilding it under pressure. If you want help building systems like this for your own classroom or role, that's what Teacher Systems Lab GPT is for. I'll drop the link in the show notes. Happy teaching, and I'll talk to you next time. This has been the Time-Saving Teacher from Scattered to Strategic. Every episode comes with a free resource to go with it. So you don't just hear the idea, you can actually use it. You'll find today's download linked right in the episode description. Grab it, no email required. And if this episode helped, the best thing you can do is hit subscribe so you don't miss next Tuesday.